Hey guys, LPoker77 here, and it's the weekend, so as usual I'll be bringing you a silver player review, and like last week I'll be reviewing two players in this video. The first of these being Bakaye Traoré, who plays for AS Nancy in the French League 1. On the Xbox he's currently going for about 25 to 30k, and according to the database he's going for a little more on the PS3. Now Traoré starts as a centre midfielder, but in all honesty you could play him in any of his possible positions. I actually trained mine as a striker and he was great fun to use there. He would play perfectly well anywhere centrally on the pitch. Card stats wise, his shooting is a stat that stands out the most, and that is essentially why I enjoyed using him so much. His in-game stats are also really good. Although he only has 2-star skills, I didn't find that to be much of a problem at all. He also has just enough pace to power away from defenders. You can probably also guess that shooting stats are great, which you'll see here. His finishing is pretty good, as well as his long shots, penalties and shot power. If you're looking to play him further back in the midfield, his passing stats will also stand out to you as well. I used him for a few games online and a few games against friends and scored quite a few goals. I may speed up the gameplay a little so it doesn't go on for too long, but he did score a few nice goals. I used him once at centre attacking mid, but I felt he was wasted there, so after the first game I changed him to a striker and he was much better than I thought. For his price, he's probably one of the best silver informs I've used this year. I would also consider him one of the best strikers I've used this year too. He's perfect next to a faster striker if you have two men up front, which I think I usually tack at, and occasionally inform Oliak next to him. He's great at driving forward, as I said, so he drives forward with the ball. His power shots are deadly if your opponent gives him space. I've mentioned in a few videos that a lot of players have good potential when you look at their in-game stats, but just don't cut it when you use them, but I can safely say Traoré isn't one of them. Straight away he was scoring decent long shots and finished nearly everything. Although I did really only use him as a striker, I can definitely tell that he'd be great if you built a team around him and used him in the heart of the midfield. He does have decent passing stats, so wherever you use him, he'll probably be amazing. So in my opinion, if you fancy trying him out, get him now while he's so cheap, and wherever you play him, you shouldn't disappoint. I paid 45k for him early on last week, and I'd easily pay that much again, so for around 30k, which he's going for now, it's an absolute bargain for such a beast of a player whose shooting for once is actually accurate to the 81 shooting shown in his card. The next player we're going to look at in this video is the second informed Vaz Te, currently out in packs. On the Xbox he was going for 250k earlier, but it seems most of the ones in the market now are up for somewhere between 350 and 400k. On the PS3, according to the database, I think he's been going for about 300 to 400k, closer to the 400k mark though. What will immediately stand out about Vaz Te is his shooting. The only other players that can really compare to him on that front is the man of the match Rhodes and McCleary, which I thought were pretty awful when I used them, so he's comparable to them stats wise. I think you'll see I used him for about 9 games online and managed to score 17 goals, which wasn't bad, but doesn't really tell you the full story about him. In-game stats wise, for a striker, he looks like an absolute beast. He's got 3-star skills, which is acceptable. I think he's also about 6'2", so that's really useful as well. His pace and strength got a nice boost as well to the low 80s, and as you'd expect from his 91 shooting on the card, his shooting stats are pretty crazy with a few in the light green. So yeah, as I said, I used him for 9 games online and he managed to score 17 goals, which to be honest isn't bad. They weren't the best goals, but he did manage to score them and he was really fun to use. What stood out to me the most though was his pace. I used his previous inform and that was the bronze version, and he had everything apart from pace. With the silver one, the pace is there and he's noticeably quicker. The problem was though, his 91 shooting didn't seem at all better than the shooting on his bronze version. He did score 17 goals, but his shooting was really sort of on and off. It was weird. One match he'd score like every shot he took and ended up with about 5 goals, which I think did happen, but then the next game he'd take just as many shots and miss all of them. I mean, you can't argue that he has amazing shooting, but when it came to scoring from a long distance, he couldn't do anything better than someone like informed Bakaye Traoré, who I showed you earlier, who would probably say had better shooting in game. His finesse shots weren't bad, but you'd expect him to score them, so I wouldn't really say they stood out. Overall, if I was to take a pick out of which player I most enjoyed using out of man of the match Rhodes, McCleary or second informed Vaz Te, I probably would choose Vaz Te, but really unless his price drops to anything closer to 200k, he's a bit too expensive for what he offers, and you could probably find a cheaper striker in the championship who will offer you just as much. Saying that, I did enjoy using him, and if I wasn't saving my coins for the most consistent team of the year to buy pretty much all of the silvers, I'd be really tempted to buy Vaz Te for his current price. Hope this helps anyone looking to buy Vaz Te or even Bakaye Traoré. I think next week I'll definitely be reviewing Inform Moses, as I may buy one this weekend. What I need to know though is who else you'd like me to review with him. Lastly, I'd also like to know if there are any different videos that people want me to make. Should I stop the underrated silver of the week and do a different series instead? I already have an idea for a series to do every Wednesday, and that could consist of a vote for a silver inform from the newest team of the week, and whichever player gets the most votes, I'll use that player for a week and tell you what I think. Something like that. Leave some suggestions below though, tell me what you think. Thanks for watching, cheers.